This is what the British monarchy is doing. Do you understand? This is what they're doing. Oh boy, sometimes people just get so myopic. There's these kind of demons in the world, and they just want the second king's attention. They just want me to acknowledge them. They just want me to give them more love. They have no concern of what is truly grieving God's heart. No concern of what's grieving my heart. It's just, love me, give me attention, give me, look at me, look at me. It's like, child, go out and fight the damn demons. I mean, look at this. Look at them. And then they're out there parading around in their little galas, saying the panda, what is it, the pangolin and the saola is the great danger that Africa faces, that they may lose the saola or the pangolin, whatever the heck that is, or the hawksbick and leatherback turtle. That's the most dangerous thing. The most dangerous thing is not the corrupt governments which they support, that rule over the people as slaves. No. That's not the problem. The problem is not the governments that support Sharia law and kill and murder Christians. No, that's not the problem. The problem is the Javan rhino and the leatherback turtle and the pangolin. That's the biggest problem facing Africa today, Tim.
I see.
Not poverty that is induced upon them by their corrupt Sharia law governments, many of them. Christian murdering, by the way, at the same time. It's not the centralized police force, which are basically running as a mafia group for the political establishment. None of that is a problem, you see, because all of them pay obeisance to the British crown. None of that is a problem. You know what the biggest problem that faces Africa today? And look at the, little tusk. Oh, they're so loving. They love the African elephant and the rhino and the leopard. They just want to kill you. See that the African that's standing there, see that they want to kill you. they love these, but they want to kill you. No, this is all a big joke. This is all pretend. They don't want to take care of Africans. They want Africans to continue to live and die. They openly want to depopulate Africans and Southeast Asians. Openly! These are the kind of insane, inbred demons that are ruling this world. You know, and I love our sanctuary brothers and sisters, of course, even though they're wacky. But sometimes you all act like children, man. Trying to get my attention. Look, I love y'all. But you gotta fight my fight with me. Fight these fools. Call them out. Raise your voice against these fools. Start your own King's Report branch. Focus your attention on these bastards. Wake people up. Stop trying to say, King, look at me, give me attention, look at me. Stop it! You're acting like a little baby. Golly. Sometimes y'all act like children. Damn. Why don't you get involved in the fight of your daddy? It's like children who are, their dad is out there fighting, right? And this is, of course, one of the sins of the true children. You have true father out there fighting Satanism all over the world. Okay? Communism, you name it, in any political form. He's out there literally fighting it, right? And then the children are saying, Daddy, why don't you love me? Daddy, why aren't you at my soccer game? Daddy, why aren't you? Okay, he loves you. He does love you, all right. And he can't be at every soccer game. Okay, fine. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. Why don't you help him fight the political Satanists? They are the real Satanist kingdoms. They are the real Satanist kingdoms. Stop living in La La Land and wishful fantasy land. Fight the damn Satanists! You can form your own groups. You can do all that. But focus your damn groups not on stupid internal politics. Focus them on the damn Satanists. Then you'll be participating in providence.
How'd you?
Go after these, look at these inbred Count Dracula descendants that rule over poor UK people. Call them out. Oh, boy. Sometimes these people drive me crazy. That's why God gave me that scripture today. Everybody chasing Jesus around. Because I am Christ's second, was it? It's the second coming of Christ, inheritor and successor. Okay, I get it. And that's why everybody wants my attention. I got it. But I'm also just one person. So be an adult and do your job and help fight the political Satanists. Don't waste your energy other places. Fight the dang fight. Fight the enemy, which is right in front of you there. Your enemy is not one another. You're all imperfect bums in your own ways. Even though, of course, you stood up for Father. In the eyes of God, we're all bums. But he'll use some bums to get his work done. Look at these people that want to genocide African people. Look at these people that want to genocide poor Southeast Asians. You don't think that's a problem? You think it's more fun to try to get my attention? Hey, if you fight them and you become successful fighting them, I'll give you tons of attention. How's that?
It's a deal.
But go out and do something. Stop shouting. Give me attention, King Daddy. Please give me attention, King Daddy. Go out and do something. Hey, how's that? If you go out and do something, and you do a wonderful job attacking these globalists and these centralists, and you do a great job, I'll give you tons of attention. How's that? I'll stroke your ego, say how wonderful you're doing. I'll promote your work. I'll bring you in front of crowds and say, look how wonderful this person, how's that, huh? Oh my goodness. Y'all drive me crazy sometimes. Focus, focus, focus. Why the hell do you think I'm ranting and raving every damn day? Do you think it's for your own entertainment? So you can be entertained? Like a spoiled brat child that's seeing his daddy fighting against something and saying, oh yeah, that was fun to watch. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go play my computer game. Daddy, give me some attention. Get the hell out there and fight with him. Stop bitching and complaining about your brothers and sisters and bitch and complain about these bastards. Then I'll give you some more attention. How's that? Isn't that right? Any father would do that, right?
Yes. Go out and do something.
Go out and do something. Stop sitting at home pretending you're doing the work. Pretending you're building the kingdom when all you're doing is spending time attacking your other brothers and sisters. Get the hell out and do something. Go fight these bastards. Become successful fighting them. Connect with people who are out there fighting them. And then I'll give you some attention. Stop living in your egoistic la-la land where you're always right and everybody's wrong. Stop being a baby, a child. Stop acting puerile and infantile. Go out and do it. Fight these bastards. Boy, it would be such an amazing thing if all the sanctuarians would actually come into this fight against political Satanism and actually do this fight. It would be great. That's probably the reason why Father made all of you go out for politics, made you go out and do these kind of things, even though you bitched and complained about it, and even though you hated him for doing it. He was trying to prepare you to get out there and change the damn world. I mean, of course, not that you're going to do it on your own merit or strength, but with His blessing and the Holy Spirit. Look at this. Africa's rapidly growing human population is predicted to more than double by 2050, a staggering increase of 3.5 million people per month. There is no question that this increase put wildlife and habitat under enormous pressure. They want to kill off humanity so that their wildlife can have a habitat, even though it's proven that when humans own wildlife, they create the best habitat for them to flourish and reproduce. And these people know that. They're just using the Wildlife Fund with a stupid panda logo. World Wildlife Fund. Go ahead, pull up that logo. With a stupid panda logo to trick you into believing they're doing it for the panda, when they're doing it to kill and control and continue the colonization of poor African black people. That would be a problem. That would be definitely a Satanist organization. Hey, why don't you create an organization that is going after the World Wildlife Fund, that exposes it? Or just a YouTube channel, if that's your passion. Go after these Demon Bilderberg Group, Davos Group, super elite, pangolin promoting saulas, and do something. All of y'all stop bitching about how this or that person is not imperfect. You're not perfect. You also are acting like bozos. I'm not done with both you groups. And maybe that's how siblings love each other, by bitching, complaining about each other. Well, if it is, you're wasting tons of energy. And you know your daddy's going to reprimand you. At some point. Focus! 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 Children, and it's not all of you are like acting like babies. Some of you are very mature. But some of you are acting like babies. Focus, focus, focus. The real Satanists, the real pedophiles, the real political Satanists, the real kingpins, the real Bilderberg Group, the real Davos Group, the real George Soros, the real Antifas, the real BLMs, the real terrorist organization, Sharia law, they actually exist. You see, in this world, it's not a video game. See, they actually exist. And they need to be fought. Stop living in your own little internet ghetto. Get out of the house and see the actual world. And the Satanists that are there, and fight them. Of course, with information and by raising your voice against them. That's how you can help bring down Satan societies. That's how you can help bring down Satan's kingdoms. That's how you can help getting people politically active and awake. That's how you can help then taking that stepping stone to then running for political office. You see, you can do something. You can go and become the commissioner. You can go and become the county chair. You can go and become the general, what is it, the supervisor of your township. Township supervisor, that's what it is. Go get those positions. Raise awareness of these basket cases that are running around, these political Satanists. That's how the microcosm influences the macrocosm. By directly getting involved in the macrocosm. That's how you shape the macrocosm from the micro. Jesus got directly involved in the macro. And that's how he eventually brought down the Roman Empire. His disciples got directly involved in the macro, going into Rome, into the cities, into the places to preach the gospel. They didn't just bicker amongst themselves. You see? Do you see? Go out and fight the enemy. And it's not even like fighting is even that hard. All you have to do is just raise awareness to them. In the network of people that God has blessed you with. It could be something as easy as just writing a blog or starting a YouTube channel and just talking into a $50 Walmart camera. And then slowly you build a network of people that start listening to you and say, hey, I agree with that. And then you can wake them up. You can wake them up to political Satanism. You can wake them up to divine principle. You can wake them up to the blessing. You name it. But if you just sit at home, complain about woe is me because, oh, this or that person is this or that in sanctuary. This other sanctuarian is like this or that. You are acting like a child. And I'm not saying there's not genuine frustration or genuine disagreement between brothers and sisters, but what about your family? Every family has that. Get used to it. That's how it is in any family. But if you want to claim that you want to do the will of the Father, then do it. Go out and fight what Father has been fighting. The political Satanists, the commies, the socialists, the super class that sits and rules as Satanists over the world. They actually rule the satanic kingdoms, you see. They actually rule them. And of course, we don't want people to just do it in a way, in a fashion that they'll get killed by SWAT teams. It could be as easy just sharing your view on YouTube. Then you're starting to make a difference. It's like the Liberty Movement. It doesn't do any benefit of Project Veritas or Stefan Molyneux going after InfoWars and the reporters on InfoWars. Doesn't do any good for them, the whole Liberty Movement. Milo Yiannopoulos is not the same organization as InfoWars or Breitbart, but they work together because they all have the same enemy to fight against political Satanism. Do you see? When you fight an enemy, you have to stand together, even though you don't like each other. Even though you may disagree on other points. You have to engage the enemy. It's not even that hard of a concept. It's just that people are so beholden. People are so craving of attention. So thirsty to want to demand attention. When you'll get the attention if you do the fight. If you go out and do something. You'll get the attention naturally instead of trying to force people to recognize you. I mean, look how ridiculous these people are. They need to be called out by every single person on this globe. And of course, we are the microcosm. We are the start of that. Crazy, crazy news. Already we are moving with no time. Time goes so quick here. Trump departing on a 10-day Asia trip again. Look, again. Look, see, the world keeps moving. It's very important to be aware of all these things that are happening and then be involved in them. It's interesting, isn't it ironic? The more insular we become, the more we only think about our communities, the more detached we become from the world. But the more we all look outside, understand what's going on, get involved with what's going on, do things like go volunteer for Trump campaigns, go volunteer for your local commissioner's positions, go volunteer for your supervisor's position, go sit on public council meetings. You know, this is how you start affecting real world change instead of just talking about it. This is what some of our members on the community are starting to do. And they will get more attention from their king because they're doing that. You won't get attention from me just because you bitch and complain and you complain about other people. Because they're your brothers and sisters who stood up for Father's authority. Go out and do something. Become the commissioner. Then you'll get tons of attention. Go accomplish something for the kingdom. Impress your father. Make him proud. Yes, and when you are successful, that makes Father proud. Don't you know that? Of course he wants you to have a stable marriage and honor his absolute sex marriage and his blessing. Of course, all that is necessary. But on top of that, that's not only your full potential. On top of that, he's given you other gifts, and when you actualize them, he's proud of that. That's why did he push me so hard to go to Harvard, even though I hated it, I didn't want to go to it. Do you think he did that because of a senile lapse? Do you think he pushed to get accolades out of his children and recognition and have them successful so that he could, because he was some kind of sadomasochist? Of course he wants us to have stable marriages, strong marriages, and raise good children, all that stuff. But he wants us to do more than that too. Don't you know, Father? If you don't understand that, you don't know Father. I mean, even though most of you have not really spent actual personal one-on-one time with Father ever. Ever. So I understand how much you crave that, how much you need it. But again, Father was one man, one person. Even though he was Christ, just like Jesus, one person. He has a physical body. So those who did his will, even though they were not perfect, and even though you all hated them, and some of them I didn't like either, but Father would bring them close because they are focusing on what he wants to be done. You see that? Not my will, but thine will. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That's, of course, a blessing and a curse. We have very passionate people in Sanctuary. But if that passion is just based on unreality and does not include the context of the actual satanic kingdoms we live in, then you are running around in circles. Stand up against the Satanists. Stand up for the sovereignty folks. Hey, why don't you volunteer if you're a designer or whatever, you got skills or whatever, you know. You got some artistic, hey, why don't you volunteer to help Breitbart, InfoWars, or whatever. Why don't you help different organizations that are every day being showcased on the King's Report? Different peoples that we are trying to introduce to the whole liberty, not only liberty movement, but all to our sanctuary people as well. These are all different people. Whatever God compels you in your heart to help them. Or if you don't want to do that, then you can start your own YouTube channel. You can start your own voice to politically focus and tear down Satan's walls, Satan's kingdoms. That, in the end, is applied theology. It's not only arguing about theology. It's not only theological matters. It is applied theology in the world. Applying our understanding of God and our understanding of theology and our understanding of lineage and our understanding of authority and our understanding of sovereignty, all that, and applying it into the world. Applied theology. Apply the blessings God has given you through divine principle and the OSDP to the world. Or even just your local area. And starting to take over the local councils. And the local areas, supervisors. To becoming an upstanding citizen so that you can spread the gospel. You can teach about DP in different ways. You can gain clout and position in the communities that you abide in. Not be seen as some isolationist hermit that's becoming like weaponized. But that you're involved, you're a supervisor, you're in the township meetings, whatever. Get involved. The Unification Church, Father, has never been just a religion of isolationist little hermit theology. He's always been involved in the world. He's always been seeking to get rid of Satan's political power and replace that with Godism. We are not just an insular, little idealistic, utopian community. Everybody knows that. And we don't pretend to be. We allow people to transparently express their views. We allow them to have different organizations. But at the same time, we can get hyped up and we can get into this whole Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. We can get into this whole Redskins versus Broncos and not focus on the real enemy, which is ruling the world. Very, very disappointing, very, very childish, very, very puerile. Stop using the excuse of pretending that you're doing something by bitching about other sanctuary people. You're not doing crap. You're making an excuse for not becoming the commissioner. You're making an excuse for not becoming the supervisor of your town. You're making an excuse for not making Chinese culture real for everybody in the place that you live. All you're doing, and everybody knows it. It's just you are trying to pretend that you're not doing it, but everybody else knows you're doing it. If you're so passionate about the work of God, if you're so passionate about this, about true Father's will, if you're so passionate about the kingdom that is coming, if you're so passionate about Chinese Constitution, go out and take over the local area legally by running for office and start implementing parts of it slowly and help everybody in your community experience Chinese Guk. Instead of trying to create some little separate isolationist utopia, which will never work. Involve yourself with the Christians. Reach out and involve yourselves with the other communities that are there. Get out. Look at our sanctuaries and our different communities in Asia. They're going out. Whenever Trump comes, they're all coming to visit him. They're all going to support Abe. They're getting out. Out of the house. Out of the theological bubble. Outside of the theological discourse. And they're doing applied theology. They're actually fighting for the kingdom in Japan. They're actually fighting for the kingdom in South Korea. Right? What was it when Lot's wife looked back? She turned a salt pillar. Stop looking back. Look forward. Don't become a pillar of salt. Become salt and light for the world. Not a pillar of salt, but salt and light for the world. Not a pillar of salt that was just going to collapse, but salt and light for the world. Focus, 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 focus. This is very common, even in families. You know, every family experiences it. One child thinks the biggest issue in the world is the other child. I'm serious. Every parent has experienced this. The biggest problem in the world is my elder brother. The biggest problem in the world is my younger sister. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. But in reality, the parent knows that's not the case. Honey, that's not the case. It's not the biggest problem. There's way larger problems. So you need now to get out the house. You need to start, finding a career. And you need to start, going out. And if you can, if you do the will of your Father, He's going to be happier. And He's going to feel like you're kindred spirits and you're working in the same side. And you're working on the same project. And you're working on the same mission. And your daddy's going to feel compelled and he's going to feel closer, a kindred spirit. He's going to feel closer to you. Maybe if your dad is in manufacturing, well, you get it if you're in manufacturing and you start succeeding. Hey, your dad's going to be very proud of you. Wow, that's amazing. That's great. You can be so much closer to him because you share his mission. Share his mission. That's how you get attention. Not by thinking that your sibling is your worst problem in the world. Everybody's seen their children do that if you have children. But you all know that's crazy when it happens in your family. You know it's not the case. You know that's immaturity. But the church family or the spiritual family is the same way. It's like a big family. So from my perspective, as the father's perspective, this is for father's representative, when I see it, and I see one child talking about another child, both of you are individual, truth bodies, both of you love your daddy, but both of you feel that this is the biggest problem in the world when it's not. And what would be great and bring your daddy joy in that position, in that situation, is not trying to hyper-focus and try to convince your daddy that your sibling is your biggest problem. When it's obviously not. Compared to the larger context of the world. And the micro influences the macro, especially when the micro is fighting for the macro. Not fighting in the macro, fighting for the macro. Is when you actually start shaping the macro with more multiplied force and more multiplied power. Spiritual, that is. And that can effect change to help everybody on the macro receive and get closer to the kingdom. Chew on these things. Pray about these things. There's so much going on and so much to be involved in. Remember the context and focus. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay with us.